Section 18 of A Book of Fairy Tale Bears. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Betty B. A Book of Fairy Tale Bears by Clifton Johnson. The Bear and the Tailor. Once upon a time, there was an exceedingly proud princess who asked a riddle of every suitor for her hand. She announced publicly that all comers were welcome to try their skill, and that whoever could solve her riddle should be her husband. But for a long time every man who presented himself failed to answer rightly, and was sent away with scorn and derision. It so happened that three tailors who were traveling together came to the royal city, and they soon heard all about the proud princess and her riddle, and were disposed to try their luck at winning her. The older two were confident they would be successful, because they had made so many fine and strong stitches with never a wrong one. Surely they could not fail to do the right thing here too. The third tailor was a lazy young scamp who did not even understand his own trade, but he thought that luck would befriend him just this once, for if it did not, what was to become of him? The two others said to him, "You had better keep away. You'll never succeed with your small allowance of brains." But the youth was not to be daunted, and said he had set his mind on solving the riddle and meant to shift for himself. So he marched off as if the whole world belonged to him. The three tailors presented themselves before the princess and told her they had come to guess her riddle. Then, with a low bow, the two elder tailors said, "Here, at last, are the right men, each with an understanding so fine you could almost thread a needle with it." "Well," the princess responded, "you notice that my hair is draped, so you cannot see it, but I would have you know that it is of two different colors, and you must tell me what those colors are. That is my riddle." "Your question is more easily answered than I expected," the oldest tailor said. "No doubt your hair is black and white, like the cloth we call pepper and salt." "Wrong," the princess announced. "If your hair is not black and white," the second tailor said, "I am confident that it is red and brown, like my father's Sunday coat." "Wrong again," the princess said. "Now let the third speak. I see he thinks he knows all about it." The young tailor stepped forward, bold as brass, and said, "The princess has gold and silver hair on her head, and those are the two colors." On hearing this, the princess turned pale and almost fainted, for the young tailor had hit the mark, and she firmly believed that not a soul could guess her riddle. As soon as she recovered herself, she said, "Don't fancy that you have won me yet. There is something else you must do. In the stable is a bear, with which you must spend the night. If I find that you are still alive when I get up in the morning, you shall marry me." She fully expected to rid herself of the tailor in this way, for the bear had never left any one alive who had once come within reach of his claws. The tailor, however, had no notion of being scared, but said cheerily, "Bravely ventured is half won." When evening came he was taken to the stable. The bear at once sprang toward him to give him a warm welcome with his great paws. "Gently, gently," the tailor said, "I must teach you manners." Out of his pockets he took some walnuts, which he began cracking with his teeth, and eating as though he had not a care in the world. This made the bear long for some nuts himself. The tailor thrust his hand into his pocket and drew forth, not a nut, but a pebble of much the same size and shape. He gave it to the bear, who put it in his mouth, but try as he might, he could not crack it. "Dear me," he said, "what a blockhead I must be! I can't even crack a nut." "Will you crack it for me?" he said to the tailor. "You're a nice sort of fellow," the tailor said. "The idea of having those great jaws and not being able to crack a walnut!" So saying, he slyly substituted a nut for the pebble and soon cracked it. "Let me try again," the bear said. "The thing looks so easy as you do it that I think I must be able to manage it myself." The tailor gave him the pebble again, and the bear bit and gnawed away as hard as he could, but to all no purpose. Presently the tailor produced a fiddle from under his coat and began playing on it. The tune was so merry that the bear could not help dancing, and after he had danced for some time he was so pleased that he asked the tailor if it was easy to learn the art of fiddling. "Why, it's like child's play," the tailor said. "Look here, you press the strings with the fingers of the left hand and draw the bow across the strings with the right hand, so. Then the tune goes up and down, tra la 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 la." "Oh," the bear cried, "I wish I could play like that. Then I could dance whenever I felt disposed to do so. Will you give me some lessons?" "Certainly," the tailor said, "if you will do your best to learn. But let me look at your paws. Dear me, your nails are terribly long. I must cut them before you can handle a fiddle." In a corner of the stable was a wooden vise, and he had the bear put his paws in it and screwed them fast. "Now wait while I fetch my scissors," he said, and he lay down in a corner and went to sleep. The bear was very uncomfortable, and he groaned and growled so loudly that he was heard by the princess in her room in the palace. She thought he was roaring with delight as he destroyed the tailor. Next morning she rose feeling quite cheerful and free from care, but when she glanced out toward the stable, there stood the tailor in front of the door, looking as fresh and lively as a fish in the water. She was much disturbed, but her promise to marry him had been made publicly, and the promise could not be broken without disgracing her. So the king ordered out the state coach to take her and the tailor to church to be married. As they were starting, the other two tailors, who were envious of the younger one's good fortune, went to the stable and released the bear from the vise. Immediately the beast gave chase to the carriage, foaming at the mouth with rage. The princess heard him coming, puffing and growling, and she was much frightened. "Oh dear!" she cried, "the bear is after us." But the tailor was not alarmed in the least. He stood on his head, stuck his legs out of the carriage window, and shouted to the bear, "Do you see this vise? If you don't go back this minute, I'll screw you tight into it." The bear wanted nothing more to do with the vise, and he turned round and ran off as fast as he could go, while the carriage continued its journey to the church. There the tailor and the princess were married, and he lived with her afterward many years as merry as a lark. Whoever does not believe this story must pay $1. End of section 18. End of A Book of Fairy Tale Bears by Clifton Johnson.